Well, Matt's at it again with another tapped experiment. This time I'm doing a 5-day fast. Why, you may ask? Because I can. Because I want to see what I'm capable of. I want to set myself a challenge. I want to endure some suffering. But even more importantly, I want to reclaim a little bit of mental clarity, recenter, refocus. Because every single time I've done a fast before this, I've only done a max of 3 days. And I've come back and I fucked up the refeed. This time will be different. This time we're gonna do things properly. I'll give you a little spoiler alert. This video is actually being filmed after the fast has already been complete. Because the intro, the first segment that I filmed, it got corrupted. The file isn't playing. What am I to do? Am I just to give up and scrap the video? Hell no. Am I to just start randomly in the middle with the second clip? No. We're gonna set the scene properly like a gentleman. Freaking watch it, see how it goes. I'm documenting it live. It's very unpolished, uncut, unfiltered. It's literally just me talking, showing you the journey. I hope you enjoy. If this doesn't tingle your taste buds, then, my friend, you are completely addicted to cheap dopamine and you need to do a cleanse ASAP. But for the final part of the dessert, we have these dates, and honestly, they're the most unbelievable dates that I've ever had in my life. They literally crumble like cookies. They taste like caramel. Oh, this is going to be a feast for the ages. And it's quite late. I should usually, if I'm obeying my golden rule, eat 2 hours or more before bed. But I've put in an absolutely monumental effort today in terms of work, productivity, applying my brain. I've been batch creating Instagram content like a lunatic. And I'm very proud of the effort I've put in. So I'm rewarding myself by feasting like a king. And I'm going to get to bed a bit late tonight. I'm not going to get my 8 hours of sleep, that's for sure, because once the 4:30 alarm goes off, that's it. Out of bed, we rise. Non-negotiable, but it's okay. Been sleep deprived before, will be sleep deprived again. I know how to deal with it. So the feast will begin, and I'll get back to you soon. Well, it's the next morning, and I don't feel like doing anything today. I woke up and it was just rough. But not because of the fast. It hasn't even really started yet. I'm not even hungry yet. It's because I made a bad choice last night. Rather than eating and going straight to bed, even if it's not optimal to sleep on a full stomach, I went on a walk. I had a cigar. I got very sort of inspired, passionate, excited, way too late in the day. Something happened in the morning that has never happened to me before. I woke up and it was already light outside. I had slept through my alarm. I talked this big game yesterday about how when the alarm goes off at 4 a.m, I get up, no questions. But clearly that wasn't the case this morning because I slept through it. And I was pissed. And I had two options. I could accept that I made a mistake, just get up and start my day later than I planned. Or, because I had already failed, I might as well just go back to sleep so that I can rest properly and wake up feeling more refreshed to be able to get more stuff done today. Obviously, I picked the first option because if I had gone back to sleep, I wouldn't have woken up with more energy. I would have woken up feeling like a bitch. And, this low frequency would have lowered my energy throughout the day. I would have been dragging my feet, battling more self-doubt. Nonetheless, I still feel kind of bland. I'm not going to lie to you. And the thought of not eating for the next 5 days
It really, really does not appeal to me right now. But what appeals to me even less is breaking a commitment that I made to myself. Last week, I told myself I was going to do this. And so I'm going to carry through with it. Just got back home from the gym after a brutal leg session where I truly felt like I was going through the hurt locker. And this was perfectly timed because as I get more and more depleted throughout the week, as my hunger increases, I'm not going to be able to produce as much output, and it would be a very bad idea to push legs all the way to failure. But because there's still plenty of calories running through my body from all the food I had last night, man, it was perfect. But nonetheless, it wasn't one of those sessions where I'm buzzing to come in. I'm like, yeah, hype, let's get it. Like I already told you, the morning started rough. I was slow, I was sleep deprived, and I truly started to feel the weight of what I've signed up for, of all of the work that has to be done in order to achieve my goals. And no, I'm in it now. I've got no choice. We're gonna conquer, and that's not easy. Man, yesterday was brutal in terms of low energy, low drive. I literally got so little done yesterday because there was just no electricity running through my body, no fuel in the tank. I ended up checking out a lovely waterfall. I ended up doing a bit of walking in nature, which I haven't properly done since I arrived. I filmed just a couple of little videos, one for the YouTube, one for the Instagram. But apart from that, I got very, very little done. I didn't get anything else done apart from that. And yesterday, I got home and I was just crashing. As I was posting my videos, I literally kept nodding off. It's not because of the hunger, I'm telling you. It's not because of the fasting. I believe it's because I'm also not taking any stimulants. I completely cut the coffee. 0 cups were consumed yesterday. And I legit slept damn near 12 hours last night. That is completely obscene and unheard of in my world because I've I've at times managed to function on 2-3 hours of sleep, going through long phases where 6 or 7 hours made me feel incredible and it was more than enough. But man, I don't know, ever since I landed here, I found myself needing a lot more sleep than I'm used to. I don't like it. I don't like it. We're going to rectify this issue with post haste. I don't know how. I don't know what the solution is yet, but we're going to figure it out because I need to go back to operating like that sleep deprived savage because I love it. I love being able to sleep 6-7 hours, wake up feeling fresh as a daisy, super energetic, and already excited to conquer the day. Because 12 hours and waking up still groggy and a bit tired is pretty absurd. I think I might have accumulated a lot of debt from consuming too much caffeine, but hey, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. We'll come back with a solution. Because energy is everything. It's impossible to put in the inputs that will get you to your goals, whether it be getting shredded, entering a bodybuilding show, flying to the other side of the world, building a business. It's impossible without energy.
So it's the end of day 2, about 8 p.m. And honestly, today has been an absolute breeze. And I won't lie, there's one secret ingredient that made it so easy. It's caffeine. That's right. I'm starting to get an idea of why I was so exhausted yesterday and slept for 12 hours last night. It's not just because I was sleep deprived the night before. It's not because I had no food in my system. It's because I was also, on top of that, going through caffeine withdrawals and nicotine withdrawals. Because, yeah, I had a cigar the night before getting sleep deprived. And I felt the repercussions the next day because I didn't drink any coffee, and just felt like death. I've been through caffeine withdrawals plenty of times, but I don't think I've ever been through caffeine withdrawals while also sleep deprived while fasting the next day. But very clearly, it's not a good idea to just cut everything all at once. We do this strategically in steps. I set myself a goal, 5-day fast. I guess we're gonna have to do what needs to be done, aka drinking coffee through the day to stay sane, to still have energy. I could cut the coffee entirely, but I would be a non-operational, complete zombie through these 5 days. And to be honest with you, there's a lot of work that has to be done if I'm gonna make it out here in Thailand and not have to come home. And that's exactly the secret bonus ingredient that got me through today. Keeping busy with work. Deep focus, which was made so much more sharp and clear because of the fast and the added coffee. I zipped through a whole bunch of stuff today that I was procrastinating on, to be honest with you. And I just feel sharp, I feel clear, I feel superhuman. Today's training session was back and triceps, and that was before I had the coffee. I went to the gym completely fasted, caffeine free. I walked there and felt like absolute just slow, sluggish mess on the way. And even during my workout, I had to drag myself through it. Everything felt harder. It wasn't that the sets themselves felt more difficult. It's literally just the fact of walking to do the next set. But anyway, now that the work has been complete, the checkbox has been ticked, and I'm about to go to bed soon, now the hunger is really starting to make itself known. I can't believe I have another 3 days left of this, but hey, we chisel our mindset through challenge. That's why I'm here doing my laundry out in the open in hot and sweaty Thailand. Let's get it. I'll see you tomorrow. Good morning, my sexy soldier. Just finished a workout and it's my rest day, meaning that I train all of the small, easy to recover, low fatiguing muscle groups, the neck, the forearms, the abs, the calves. I do them all on this rest day, which I also like to call skipping day, because very likely you skip these muscles, don't you? Because they're boring. You don't want to train them. You always put them at the end of your workouts, and then you always find a way to skip them. That's why I've taken them all and I've put them on one whole day. And I do this day twice a week, so that there is literally no physical way for these muscles not to grow in my coming 2-year, 3-year bulk. But yeah, it's another beautiful sunny day in gorgeous Thailand, and I feel incredible. I almost forget that I'm 3 days, well, I'm on the start of the 3rd day in my fast, when I'm busy, when I'm caffeinated, when I'm training, when I'm working. Because it's really, really hard to fixate on your hunger when your mind is focused on being productive and truly enjoying the fulfillment in the work. Because I've done fasts before where I literally had nothing to do, where I set myself the challenge of doing a complete dopamine cleanse, meaning no activities, literally zilch, nada, no distracting myself with scrolling, no freaking Netflix, nothing but me and my hunger and silence, maybe a bit of reading, maybe some journaling and meditation, but apart from that, nothing to take my mind away from the feelings in my body. But when I did these fasts, I also was very confused, lost about my purpose. I didn't have any deep work tasks to sink my teeth into and allow myself to get distracted. But the last time I did one of these 3-day fasts, I was actually doing like my delivery job on those first 2 days, meaning they went by in a jiffy. They were easy as piss. I didn't even notice, really. Obviously, I got little pangs of hunger throughout the day, but there was an activity to keep my mind distracted. So yeah, if you ever want to do a freaking 3-5-day fast, if you want to do it on Doom level hardcore difficulty, also do a dopamine cleanse where you're not doing anything else. Just thinking, sitting in silence, and focusing on your hunger. But if you want to make it easier, bro, just fill your time with fulfilling activities, like working on your mission and finding your purpose. So day 3 has been completed, and honestly, I think it's going to be a breeze for the next 2 days. I get to eat at 9 p.m. on Friday, and I think the time is just going to whiz by, because when you're busy, keeping your mind active, you're working towards a fulfilling goal, and the work actually keeps you engaged. It might be difficult, it might be mentally taxing, but it actually allows time to pass without you even realizing. But man, I'm fucking pissed. So I had to just turn on the camera and record this in the heat of the moment, because I have realized just how easily I get scatterbrained, how easily I've lost focus. Because just a few weeks ago, I was posting videos on YouTube that were performing well, because I had narrowed my constraint, I had developed a little bit of a formula, and because I was so busy with work, I didn't have much time to put into it, so I had to narrow my focus and really just dial in. But because I've come to Thailand and I have all day to just create, I've become scattered and chaotic once again. I've recently started a new Instagram account. Link is below, obviously, for you to message me. You know, we can work together, or we can just have a chat, see if I can help you out. Doesn't really matter. But I started posting because I want more views. I need to get more eyeballs on my content to build this brand, obviously. But I've been listening to all the wrong people. I've been scrolling my feed, looking for inspiration and ideas, and in the process found myself becoming a junkie again, a dopamine fiend who's just scrolling for a lot longer than I intended to. And I don't think it's actually going to give me any advantage to see someone's content that performs well and try to replicate it in my own way. I think I need to study the principles on a deep level, the psychology behind what makes good content, intentionally. Not by scrolling the Instagram app, but from learning from people who've done it, who've mastered that craft directly, and just sitting, watching them, taking their notes, and applying the principles, the fundamental psychology, not the tactics, not the shiny, copy these hooks, all of this shite that doesn't help anyone apart from the creators who make that easy content, you know? But I'm getting very deep down the sort of creation rabbit hole right now. That's definitely not my expertise, as you can see by my pitiful subscriber count and the fact that this video probably won't get that many views. I'm by no means an expert. Like I keep having to refer, I'm just sharing my journey. But what I am an expert in, obviously, I do have some credibility. It's getting a fucking jacked and stacked physique, chiseling the mind, and I think it all works in synergy. All of this content creation, all of this losing focus, moving out to Thailand stuff. I think I'm gathering a lot of valuable lessons and data that can help you improve your life. But anyway, I wanted to channel this angry energy at myself for splitting my focus, because the results always get worse when your brain has just so much stimulus in it. I'm 100% certain that, again, my alarm went off, cutting the video, which fueled the rage within. But it's okay, because I very quickly caught myself. I didn't allow these few days of, creating reels and getting lost down the rabbit hole to become weeks and then months, and then realizing, fuck, I've spent so long working, but getting so little actually done. It's such a retarded thing to have to go through, to put in effort, but because your focus is scattered and chaotic, because you're depleting your levels of motivation and having to rebuild them, because you're messing up with this dopamine circuitry within your body. It's no way to live. It's how people spend so many years just wasting time, being productive, but not actually moving anywhere. Focus is the ultimate multiplier. Never forget that. Focus is what takes average to exceptional. Now, obviously, you need clarity and aggression, but I'm not a success guru. Look at me. I'm a shirtless, ripped guy sitting in a cheap, studio flat in Thailand. I'm just Matt. And if you like me, you tune in, and if you hate me, just bugger off, leave me some hate in the comments. Doesn't matter to me. But anyway, three days of fast have been complete. I'm about to go to bed. Gonna wake up, have another 4th day of the fast. Probably gonna be just as easy as the last 2 days, because we're fueling with caffeine. We're not feeling any guilt, but we're being sensible about it. We're not chugging 10 cups throughout the day. We might stop at 4, and limit them to all before 10 a.m. 10 a.m. cut off, so that our sleep doesn't get affected. But to be honest with you, I'm really, really enjoying this mental clarity that having no food in my system is giving me. I genuinely feel like I'm operating at razor sharp focus. I just said razor sharp instead of laser sharp, so clearly I may just be deluding myself, but this is a great feeling. It's a great feeling. Might have to do more of these fasts. Might have to do a 2-year-long fast. Who knows? Bang! Day 4, just wrapped up another morning gym session, and definitely lost a little bit of strength. Definitely lost some work capacity, feeling a bit more drained than usual, naturally. Pump wasn't as crazy as it could be, obviously, because I'm not feeding my muscles with any fast-acting carbs or other nutrients. However, the intensity is always there, no matter how depleted. Still went all in, gave everything I had to every set, every rep, feeling on top of the world. Did I lose muscle though? That's the main question. I'll let you know at the end of the 5 days, but so far, what does it look like? What does it look like? Honestly, my to-do list for today was pretty short. I still managed to get a pretty ridiculous amount done in a short space of time, but to be honest with you, there's not really that much to do when you're building this brand and you've already created so much content, you've scheduled it, you've batch created some. Obviously I can yap all day, I can turn on my phone and talk infinitely, but this still doesn't really just feel like work. So I have decided to go for an adventure. I'm in the Doi Suthep National Park, which is basically a jungle, and man, it's absolutely gorgeous. This isn't like the forests in England, that's for sure. Just this big old rock, perfect to sit on, to contemplate existence, to scheme, to come up with weird and wacky new ideas. So blessed to be here.
Here's a little sneak preview of just some of the beauty I witnessed. Man, Thailand honestly hits different. And these Buddhists, they just inspire deep peace and tranquility.
A video truly can't do this justice. The view is insane. Man, how blessed am I that I get to go on my little moped for 20 minutes, walk up a few hills and see this. Wow. Another day, another fasted gym session. 5 days deep and the fatigue is starting to slap just a little bit. Today was my most intense, fatiguing day of the week in terms of training program because it's legs and back. Two very hard hitting muscle groups. Big volume of freaking mass there, meaning a lot of stimulus is required. And I still went pretty hard. There were some exercises that I didn't go completely balls to the wall failure, such as Romanian deadlifts, because I just knew that it was a bad idea. There was this monkey-minded impulse within me at the start to say, okay, let's hit a freaking PB. Let's use this hungry savage energy to just go beyond my limits. But I knew that it wasn't a good idea. I pulled back. I intentionally dropped the weight, dropped the reps, but it still felt hard, I won't lie to you. And, still no reason to leave any reps in the tank when it comes to doing pull-ups, machine rows and stuff. But with those heavy lower body compound movements, man, you definitely don't want to push it when you're this depleted. And that also reminds me that creatine has not been in my body for a while now. Ever since I got to Thailand, I didn't take my creatine with me and I haven't got a new supply. So that's first supplement on the list to acquire. But apart from that, man, it's a freaking beautiful sunny day. I've got nothing to complain about. Feel high frequency because after the workout was complete, I did backwards walking for 30 minutes on the treadmill. And it's always that boring cardio, that low intensity, steady state stuff that you don't want to do the most. Because when it comes to like high intensity, smacking the punch bag, there's a little bit of like, oh shit, this is going to be hard. But then you get to it, you let out aggression and you start getting into the zone, you start tapping into that frequency. But when it comes to like backward walking, steady state on the treadmill, it's like a little bit uncomfortable for a long time and it's boring. So you never want to do it. You always want to skip it, but you always feel incredible once you complete it because you're like, okay, yeah, I can do the mundane shit and everything's fine. I get through it, meaning that I'm more equipped to deal with the mundane days that life has to throw at me. But anyway, that's it. I'm going to see you later whenever I have a little update on my activities.
We're only 5 hours away from feast mode. Fortunately though, I'm not going to get to indulge in a massive bowl of meat, fruit, honey, because we're doing things differently this time. We're not undoing all of the benefits of the fast in one massive binge like I used to before. I'm going to show you how I refeed, and it's going to require more discipline in the fast itself. Just watch.
So after fasting for 5 days, how much muscle did I actually lose? I'm gonna say none, because while I might be looking a little bit flat, a little bit depleted, I can promise you that's all glycogen. A little bit of water will come back in no time, literally probably the next day after doing my full refeed strategy. But this wouldn't have been possible had I not been going to the gym and training as hard as my fatigued body would allow. Every single time I've done a fast before, I've absolutely destroyed all the potential health benefits that could have come after, because I was an unstoppable animal just stuffing down food. Even after my last fast, I stuffed down nothing but clean whole foods, but there was everything. There was steak, eggs, avocado, fruit, dates, honey, peanut butter, and obviously my stomach was not happy with that. All of these long-term health benefits from fasting were just negated in one unstoppable rampage. We're not going to repeat that mistake this time. We're going to start off very slowly. This refeed is going to take more discipline than the fast. So what I have here is 2 little steaks, tiny little pieces of meat, lean meat, because we're not going to overload our system with too much confusion at the moment. We're having mainly just protein. Obviously I had to cook it in ghee, so there's a little bit of fat, and there's some bone broth as well, which is obviously just a liquid to sip on slowly. And man, I can't wait. Wow, even a poorly cooked piece of meat absolutely slaps. It's poorly cooked because I don't have the best cooking equipment out here. I'm still trying to figure out how to use this electric stove properly and get a good sear on some steak. Because this is wackly cooked. Like, look at that. What the hell is that? That's just like medium rare throughout the entire thing. Nonetheless, it's still delicious. Obviously it's lean beef, so a little bit chewy, but it's like jerky. Yeah, you know what? It tastes a lot like jerky with just a little bit of salt. But man, now that that first bite's been had, this is where the real self-mastery comes in. Not to just rush my way through my entire fridge. Flip. Okay. I am gonna eat in peace, enjoy my company, and I'll see you tomorrow morning. So we've woken up after breaking my fast in a very gentle way last night, and I feel pretty incredible. This is definitely not like any of the fasts I've had before, where I woke up and basically felt the same brain fog, felt the same, lack of energy as I would have done the day after a binge, which is exactly what happened. But now I still have the sharpness. There are still no carbs in my system, but we're going to change all of that because I'm about to go train and I want to start restoring the muscle glycogen. But that doesn't mean to go crazy. We're doing things gently. We're going to have a little bit of bee pollen. Going to have this bottle of coconut water drank slowly as I'm, about to head to the gym while warming up. And I'm also going to have a tablespoon of raw honey for those fast-hitting sugars to fuel my workout. And obviously, we have to smash some watermelon for the citrulline pump. And just because it's largely water, it's not very dense. For example, if I just had some bananas and dates right now, that might be a lot more heavier of a source of carbs, which might, it might throw my system into more of a shock. But like I said, we're easing things slowly. So I'm going to consume these little sources of carbs. I'm going to head to the gym and see you afterwards.
Is done. Another rest day of neck, calves, abs, and forearms. That carb refill feels like it's gone to waste by not coming in and doing a heavy leg day, but nonetheless, we're easing back into it. I didn't eat a massive plate of freaking rice and fruits. I had just a little bit, just enough to restore some of the oomph that I lost. And there was definitely some explosivity that I haven't been feeling in these past training sessions this week. So, hey, I'm so excited about going home and eating a real meal. My post-gym protein is ready to eat. Some rancid, maggot, parasite-filled bird meat. Incredible. And every single day, as I'm walking these 5 flights of stairs back home, all I can smell is marijuana. They absolutely love it here, and it's so easy to find. Walk down the street, there's a weed shop. No ID, no nothing required. You just go in and buy some weed. Man, if I was still my old identity, I'd be stagnating hard out here, pissing away so much money. Oh, I'm so glad that's not my life anymore. How much I paid for this gigantic stack of bananas. That's right, 0 bahts, $0, £0, because I live very close to a grove, a patch of land where there's just a whole bunch of banana trees. And I don't think it's private property, at least I hope it's not, but it's literally just out in the open. You can pick them and just enjoy them. Now all I have to do is wait a few days for them to ripen and we're in business. Free bananas. I love Thailand. It's time for the real feast to begin, and it's still a modest one. This plate is about half the size of a plate I would normally eat for my first meal of the day. And here we have a very simple bowl of delicious duck breast, beef mince, avocado with parmesan, and it's seasoned with nothing but salt. I'm not throwing in any carbs for this meal, no fruits for now, because I don't want to overload my digestive system, and keeping it to just fats and proteins for now will make things simpler. And obviously adding in a whole bunch of seasonings
will just make my system go crazy. So it's just seasoned with salt for now. But man, it's been a long time coming. Fuck yeah, proteins and fats at the same time. Time for the next meal where we actually include a bit of carbs with the protein. And boy, am I in for a treat. Yes, this unfrozen kiwi looks a bit sus, but it's just swimming in its own juice. Here we have some fresh grapes and some tamarind. I'm obviously not gonna have this entire box because that's just a bit obscene. However, still a bloody delightful meal. Just come back from another training session and nothing crazy. I wasn't doing any weights. I was just kicking the bag and flinging around the staff. Just enough to, get a bit of heart rate up, get the movement in, and actually earn my final meal of the day. My final proper meal of the day, which is a significantly larger plate. It's the same as before, minus the duck. Added some kimchi for some extra gut fermentation health. And that's it. I'll be back with you in a bit and we'll do a full wrap up when the day is over. Ending the day with an absolutely elite dessert. We have dried bananas with honey. Literally just 2 ingredients, bananas and honey. Amazing product, very happy with it. And we're topping it off with a little bit of macadamia butter, which is not peanut butter. It is probably the highest quality nut spread that you can get, because peanut butter, almond butter, all of that cheap stuff, it's loaded with phytic, pardon me, flipping out, pardon me, my goodness. It's loaded with phytic acid, omega-6s, lectins, all of this stuff that makes it a garbage product. It's not a health food, peanut butter and almond butter, but in small quantities, this shit is actually pretty goated. I've never ever found it in England before, so I'm very lucky to have found it here. However, I must stress, small quantities. This shit is very, very high in calories, so tread very lightly. Okay, let's do a final review of the fast. So, the first day was absolute death because I cut the coffee, I had a cigar very late the night before, and I was hella sleep deprived. I was dragging my feet. You could tell in the videos that I made that the energy was low. And so the next day I decided I'm not going to try to cut everything all at once. Let me just caffeine max through the entire fast. And it helped. I had 3 to 4 strong cups of coffee a day, and it took the edge off. It blunted the appetite. But when the caffeine wore off in the later parts of the day, the appetite came back with a vengeance. So all in all, I would say if I was going into it clean and I hadn't been drinking coffee leading up to the fast, I would say that overall it would have been more manageable had I steered clear of the stimulants. But nonetheless, I had a great time. I felt mentally sharp, clarity through the roof. Definitely got a lot of ideas about how I'm going to move forward to provide value and help you transform your life. So please do stay tuned because I'm about to drop some bangers and they're just going to keep getting better and better and better, obviously, throughout the years as I film these videos. But anyway, back to business. I finished off the fast and I'm very pleased with the way I did so. I didn't just rampage back on a binge as I've done previous times. The first time I ever did a prolonged fast, I literally binged on frickin' baked paninis, crisps, donuts, the worst possible shit, you can possibly have straight away. Literally, I didn't even reintroduce with a nice steak and fruit meal, because the first fast I did, I was still a very, very low version of myself. I was a pleasure-seeking comfort cuck. And to be honest with you, that food wasn't even that good. Nothing has given me more pleasure than reintroducing stuff slowly this time. Starting with the protein, adding a little bit of fats, and then the next day having a very small amount of carbs just before my workout. And you saw how I did things. However, I will say this. Last night, I got a little bit carried away. I didn't eat slowly enough, and I just kept eating more than I should have. Remember those banana honey delights? Yeah, I didn't pace myself very well with those. That's the key to mindful eating, is speed, meaning slow things down, because it creeps up on you. If you eat too fast, you'll realize, fuck, I ate too much. You feel bloated, you feel sick, especially before bed. No good. That's what happened to me, and I didn't sleep so well last night, even though I was supposed to recover properly, because I was just too bloated. I was, lying in bed, just sweating, waiting for my stomach to die down a bit. But every mistake is a lesson if you learn from it and don't repeat it again. So yeah, we're gonna cut off the food. 7 p.m. today at the latest. In bed by 9, lights out. Hopefully, if everything goes smoothly. But that might not happen. Maybe I'll get to bed at 10. Who knows? Either way, this fast was a great success. And now I'm enjoying some beef bone broth, which is just chef's kiss. This is nature's protein shake right here. I'm having it after a rigorous workout because I don't want any big meal to slow me down for these bangers that I'm about to film. But bringing this back to you, because it's all been about me. If you want a reset, if you want to build your resilience, discipline and willpower, do a 3-day fast. Start there. That's an amazing place to start. But don't reintroduce food like a lunatic. Do things exactly the way I've showed you here, and the benefits will last. And every single fast you do after that, you can improve upon. But anyway, I think I'll leave it there. If you want to become that guy, if you've seen the way I operate, if you like my physique, bro, that's what I do. I want to teach you how to build yourself in the same way. Cut out all of the years of nonsense that I had to waste trying to figure things out on my own before I went all in and hired a coach, which fully transformed my life. Yeah, bro, freaking click the link below and have a little chat. Maybe you won't. Maybe you're just ready to go straight away. Fuck yeah, bro. Let's get it. Let's go.